Hello folks, just to let you know, we also create strategic websites for clients worldwide. So if you or anyone you know needs a new or redesigned website, please visit us at creativethunder.co and get in touch. By doing so, you'll help us to continue to develop more videos like the one you're about to watch.
Hello folks, it is the evening of the 5th of July 2016, still Tuesday, and I just want to show you an update of what's happening in the skies this afternoon since I shot the last video. We're out on a walk with the dogs right now, and I actually went home, walked back home to grab my telephone so I could shoot some more footage of exactly what's going on here. And what I'm showing you right now is the least of it, because I want you to see as I continue around. Look at how white, look at all the aerosols as I turn around facing the other direction. And you can see all of these aerosols just spreading out. The horizon is completely, utterly white. Take a look at this. Take a look at that. Yeah, I'll go right up to the sun. You can see the chemtrails beneath the sun. Take a look at that. And as I progress over to where I'm going to go, it's going to get even worse. But I wanted you to see the progression of what was relative blue. Yeah, relative blue until I turn the corner. And for you to see this. Yeah, our governments no longer have any legitimacy whatsoever. They are not there to protect us. They're not there to do us anything good. They're not there to take care of us when this is what is allowed to take place. And as Rosalind Peterson has documented, there was an agreement set up apparently in 2009 between the US government and the UK government to roll out a global geoengineering program. And this is the end result that we're seeing here. Now in the summer of 2016, we've watched it get worse and worse every single year, every season. But just take a look at this, folks. Any government that would allow this to happen is completely illegitimate. Has no right being in charge when they are keeping this from the citizens, from the people of each of our own countries. Just since I was out this afternoon, I went back inside, and as often is the case, when I was inside, my throat just started feeling parched, a sort of burning, sore throat feeling because of all the chemicals that I was breathing while I was outside trying to get sunshine for my own benefit, for my own health. But it's a trade-off between getting the sunshine that we need and not breathing these toxic nanoparticulate poisoned air, the aerosols that are in the air. Anyways, that's it for now. I'm going to continue shooting in a little bit further up the street. Okay folks, this is about 30 seconds later. I've walked up the street so I can show you another vantage point of just what's happening in the skies today. Okay? Take a look at this. Take a look at that. And notice how everything is just smearing out. It's completely smeared. If I turn back this way, you can see the aerosols doing the same thing below those clouds. You can see the aerosols up here. If I go down here, you can see the aerosols and the chemtrails over there. All along the horizon here. Just take a look at how completely whited out this is. You can see the residual chemtrails there, and then the effects of them having spread out across the sky. Take a look at what's happening over there. Look at that strange formation, because it's just blowing in the wind. And the wind, as I said in my video earlier today, is heavy because of the constant alternating cooling and warming because of the sun dropping behind the clouds. and then emerging from the clouds, and so the wind picks up. But take a look at this. Look at how smeary the sky is. Look at the aerosols just spreading out and feathering. There's a recently laid down chemtrail, and look at how it's spreading out quickly. Same thing up here. Look at the aerosols there. Again, take a look at them there. And here you've got both the aerosols and the chemtrail, the residual lines that you can see. It's just astounding, folks. And as I was saying before, since I was out earlier today, I've gotten a sore throat, a real parched feeling in my lungs, which often happens on heavy spray days like today. And it's that real trade-off between trying to get enough sunshine and being outside to catch the sunshine to keep up our vitamin D levels, but also thereby putting us at risk because we're absorbing more of these poisonous nanoparticulate aerosols that we know contain aluminum, barium, strontium, and whatever else they decide to add to the mix. Because remember, folks, this is a completely black ops program. They're not asking for our permission. They're not trying to minimize the effects, the negative effects. They're just going ahead, and they've been going ahead with this program for decades at this point. Absolutely no consent from the people. It's been completely kept from us. In fact, it's been repeatedly and vehemently denied. But anybody who still has any wits about them still can look at this and see that this is completely screwed up. This is completely abnormal. And if you've been watching the skies like we have for years, then you know exactly what's taking place. Unfortunately, not enough people are paying attention to what's happening in their sky, but they need to pay attention immediately. Start spreading the word. This government, again, whether we're talking about the UK government here in Britain, the government in the United States, the governments in Europe, overseen by the totalitarian EU government in Europe, are completely illegitimate. They are endangering all of life on planet Earth. There's no legitimacy left whatsoever, and we need to act accordingly. When our government allows us to be poisoned by a black ops program that nobody gave any consensus to, then we've got an illegitimate government who is tyrannizing us, who is causing us much ill harm, harm to us as individuals, harm to the planet, harm to the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, that also goes into the foods that are grown, and also just the massive diminution of sunshine on Earth because it's being blocked by these aerosols that are being sprayed out of these airplanes. It's horrendous on countless levels, folks, but we can't have a legitimate government who's doing this to us day after day and have that government have any semblance of legitimacy anymore. They've completely, it's a tyrannical government, a tyrannical world government. Go to our glaringhypocrisy.com website if you'd like to learn more about the nature of that government, and just take a look at this. Look at these aerosols, folks. This is completely out of control, and I just really wanted to document this for you today, having seen it change over the course of the day. And look at the diminution of light right now. Not only is there that small cloud, but you can see the much larger phenomenon is what's behind the cloud, all of the aerosols. And look at the swirling. Look at the swirling of the aerosols. Clearly, we're not dealing with moisture here, folks. This isn't moisture coming out of airplane engines as they've been telling us for years. You can see the aerosols just streaming out, feathering out. Anyways, that's it for now, folks. As always, I hope you're well, and until next time. Okay, here's another shot as I'm continuing to walk down the road so you can get the larger perspective on this as these chemtrails continue to spread out, making an absolute smeary mess of our skies all the way around. In between shooting this shot and my previous video, I saw a couple of women who were getting into their car, and I said, "Yeah, have you looked at the sky?" And they think it's a joke. I said, have you noticed what the sky looks like? "Oh yeah, it's beautiful." And I said, "Don't you think people should be paying attention to what's happening in their skies? You think this is beautiful? Have you even paid attention to it? Have you even seen it?" And of course they just think it's a big joke because they've been programmed by the media to completely discount the truth of their own experience. It's really astounding, folks. It's astounding when you can have this in your skies and absolutely pay no attention to it, even when it's pointed out to you. Even when it's pointed out to you. And, without even looking, without even paying the slightest bit of attention, they just discount it as lunacy, of course. It's really extraordinary. Fortunately, there's such a growing number of folk who are becoming aware of what's taking place, and it's heartening that people are speaking out in ever greater numbers. Joining up, you can see another chemtrail being flown straight through the middle of that. But it's so good that people are waking up to this. But it's, of course, as it always is, a relative tiny few compared to the masses of unbelievable ignorance, whether we're talking about geoengineering, the larger New World Order, Jew World Order phenomenon. You can see that plane leaving a massive chemtrail right there. It's just astounding, folks. Anyways, that's it for now. Until next time. Okay, just take a look at this. It's about a minute after I turned off the video last time. Look at it smearing out, folks. Look at it just smearing. Look at all the chemtrails. And look at how they're smearing out. Of course, that's not moisture coming out of a modern jet engine, which are made to pretty much preclude any semblance of moisture after it's passed through the heat of the engine. But look at this. Look at all these swirls of aerosols all around us, chock-a-block. And again, this is what's causing me to feel, for my throat to be parched and sore, being out in this since this afternoon, and only then for about a half an hour or so before going back inside to do some work. Anyways, that's it for now. Until next time. Okay, folks, you'll notice that Chembo right in the middle of the shot there. Completely new phenomenon that we have with the aerosol spraying because of the reflection of the sun on the nanoparticulate aerosols, which are comprised of various metallic nanoparticulates. You can see that it's casting a rainbow. Of course, there's not a cloud actually in the sky right now. All we have are aerosols. But just take a look at that if you've not seen that phenomenon before. And just take a look at the larger phenomenon. Look at what a mess the sky is. It's just unbelievably astounding. There are not really words for this. Look at what a scarred up mess it is. You can see more chemtrails being laid down. Look at all the aerosols. You've got the Chembo, completely unnatural phenomenon. There's no moisture in the air to give a rainbow, and of course that's not what a rainbow looks like for anybody who remembers what things actually look like. Massive chemtrail that we saw being flown through earlier, dispersing. And just take a look at this. The sky is atrocious. Unbelievable. And yet there is so much deeply embedded ignorance that people do not want to pay attention to this. They do not want to see this. They don't want to have to see it. They don't have to face it. And the television programming and newspaper, all the lies, are doing everything they can to keep them from noticing it, keep them from paying attention to what's going on. But for those of us who are awake, we've got to speak out, we've got to organize, we have to point out the complete illegitimacy of our governments that would allow such a crime against nature and a crime against humanity. People like David Keith and Dr. Caldera, two prime agents who have been pushing this agenda at least since 2001. Ken Caldera, David Keith, two geoengineering quote-unquote researchers who should be locked up and be serving life sentences for treason and crimes against humanity. And they know they're playing with fire. They talk about this program being risky, but to say it's risky doesn't begin to address the unbelievable nefariousness and danger of what's taking place in the biosphere. This massive, it's not even a scientific experiment. This is just, it's kind of like one of those terror drills that all of a sudden goes live, and then we actually have people who are wasted if they're not crisis actors. But as we had on 7/7/2005 in Britain, where a terror drill supposedly, quote-unquote, went live at the exact same locations, exact same time as the drill, and we actually had people die, of course, in that terror attack. Well, this is like a science experiment that went live immediately worldwide, and we're all paying the effects of it. We've not yet begun to pay anything like what we're likely to pay in terms of the massive drop in agricultural output, the poisoning of human beings with all the nanoparticulates that we're breathing that are going into our water table, that's going into the food, that's just making its way into our bodies in various ways, literally poisoning us. Anyways, that's it for now, folks. Until next time.